McLaughlin and the rest of the team came up, and they put more equipment in the cart. I was going to start pushing the cart again, and that's when Antonio said, Will, let me push the cart. You've been pushing the cart from the police desk up here. Now you got to remember, we got helmets on, we got Scott air packs on, we look like firefighters with guns on our side. So I said, that sounds good, right? Teamwork. He's looking out for me, we're all looking out for each other. So at that point, Antonio got behind the cart, like right here, and Christopher got right next to Antonio. Sergeant McLaughlin was right here in front of the cart, I was right in front of the cart, dead center, and Dominic was to the right of the cart. As we started walking down this long hallway, we would walk down this hallway and make a left to go to Tower 1. As we were going down this hallway, we were stopped halfway. Sergeant McLaughlin's radio crackled, our inspector said, where are you guys? He told them where we were, and he said, is there something wrong with Tower 2? A group of firefighters and EMT walked past us, and Sergeant McLaughlin said, be careful. I just came from the B1 level, and the elevator shafts are buckling. So as you guys know, the jet fuel is one of the hottest things in the world. It was actually melting the steel, the base of the World Trade Center. And Sergeant McLaughlin saw that the elevator shafts were buckling. Again, he had so much experience, but he and so many other professionals in whether firefighting or police never thought the World Trade Center was coming down. That's when I turned around to look from where we came, and I could look into the lobby of 2, and I saw a humongous fireball after I heard a humongous boom. And I'm standing there with my helmet just shaking, and I'm just standing there. That's when Sergeant McLaughlin said, run toward the elevator. There was an opening. We started running. Dominic ran first. I ran behind Dominic. I could look behind my shoulder, and I saw Sergeant McLaughlin coming. That's the first time I asked myself, Will, what did you get yourself into? Because I saw the lights flickering, and I saw brown stuff, which what I know today is the building actually coming down. And Dominic started turning to the left, and I thought for a split second I saw light, and I thought maybe I should run toward the light. But then I said, no, we promised each other we would take care of each other. But I was in the middle of the buildings. So as I turned, something picked me up and just slammed me on my back. And the whole building that you guys have seen, the buildings coming down, right? As the first building's coming down, it's just coming down on top of us. And I'm on my back. And one thing a cop never gives up, they never give up their radio. That's our lifeline. So I go for my radio and I'm yelling 813, which is our code for officer down. That means everybody comes when someone yells that. And I'm yelling that. And that's when something hits my hand and I lose my radio. I grab onto my helmet. I had a chin strap on. The building's coming down. Something hits my head, rips my helmet off, chin strap and all. All I can do is hold on to my head. And it seemed like it lasted forever, and then it just stopped. And found myself in a dark hole. Couldn't see anything. After a little bit, about 30 feet up, there's light coming in, and I could see it, but everything looks like chalk, you know, it's all just dust. And when I look, I'm on my back, and there's literally a wall covering my whole left side of my body. Dominic is buried to my left in a push-up position, and all I see is concrete around me. And there's about 2 feet of room next to me, and I can't see anything. Sergeant McLaughlin now is about 15 feet back in a fetal position like a baby. And he's not hurt, he's just stuck. And he says, sound off. So I said, Jimeno. Dominic said, Pizzulo. And we didn't hear Antonio or Chris. So for the next 2 minutes, I kept yelling her name. A-Rod, which was Antonio's nickname, and Chris. And I kept yelling her name. That's when we realized 2 of our friends, 2 of our cops, 2 great Americans were dead. And that had a large impact on me because these were my friends. At this point, Sergeant McLaughlin, still being professional, says, guys, what's everybody's condition? I said, I can't move and I'm in a lot of pain because now the pain's starting to set in. It felt like 15 Suburbans were on my left side. Dominic says, I'm not hurt, but I think I can get out of here. But it was very, very tight. Took him a little bit. He had to shimmy out of his Scott air pack, and he literally crawled over my face into this little hole, very small hole. And he looks up and he says, Sarge, I can get out, I can go for help. Sergeant McLaughlin says, no, you got to get Jimeno out, and then you 2 get me out. If you go up there, you'll never find us. Because Sergeant McLaughlin thought it was a car bomb that hit us. And what his experience, that's why I tell everybody, always learn in life. You never stop learning. Never be a person who says they know it all. Every single day you can learn something. Sergeant McLaughlin thought that's what they do in the Middle East. They blow something up, they send the first responders in, they blow them up again. And he knew it would be just a debris field up there. So he said, get Jimeno out, and then you 2 get us out. And me and Dominic had a a serious talk. Think about this, kids. You're somewhere really, really bad, and you can get out, but your teammates are there. Your natural reaction is to go to safety, right? And we talked about that. And Dominic said, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to get you out. That was a brave, brave thing he did. And as he started trying to get me out for the next 20 minutes, there was a piece of concrete that was on me. And it was attached to a piece of rebar. A piece of rebar is what they use in metal to keep the concrete in place. So it's a piece of metal that's bent on me. And Dominic was a strong guy, so he kept bringing this concrete off and it would whip back and hit me. For 20 minutes, he kicked my butt. I'm not kidding you. We even laughed down there. I said, Dom, you're kicking my butt, man. But then after 20 minutes, he sat back and he goes, Will, I can't get you out. That's when that fear came over me. I knew I was in trouble. That's when we heard a second boom. And everything started coming down again. At this point, I could hear Sergeant McLaughlin yelling because now he's being crushed. I see Dominic to my right get crushed by a piece of concrete came in. I could see blood coming out of his mouth. Things started hitting me more. Do you guys know what this means in sign language? Anybody? What's it mean? It means I love you. This is something I always did to my wife and my little girl. I always do this. So at that point, I took my hands and I crossed them over like this because I figured I was going to die. And if they found me, hopefully they would tell my wife this is the way they found me, so she would know that I was thinking about her. And everything started happening again just like the before. Concrete's coming down really, really bad. I'm in more pain. Sergeant McLaughlin's yelling. Dominic is hurt, and everything stops. When everything stops, I look over, and I see my friend Dominic only like 2 feet from me, and he's dying. Blood's coming out of his mouth. He's crushed. And I said, man, Dom, hold on. He said, Willie, I'm dying. Don't ever forget that I died trying to save you guys. And I said, Dominic, I would never let anybody forget that. He actually cracked a joke. He said, Sarge, can I have a 3-8, which means a break for us? And Sergeant McLaughlin stopped yelling. And he said, yeah, take a 3-8. At that moment, Dominic took out his sidearm, his gun, pointed it into that hole and fired a round as a last-ditch effort for someone to hear that we were down there. And he died right next to me. So that was really, really tough. And I told Sarge, Dom's gone. Sergeant McLaughlin, being a professional, said, keep focused, keep trying to get yourself free.